Hey, welcome to the Future Champions Golf YouTube channel. My name is Smeal, founder of Future Champions Golf. For those of you who don't know me, a few things. I just wrote a back to school blog. It is posted on the website, but I'm going to go ahead and share it with you too here on our YouTube channel. So a couple things. So school's back in session. You just finished a full summer of awesome competitions. Hopefully you succeeded this summer. Many of you probably did, and many of you probably did not have the best summer and are looking to figure out what you're going to do during the fall to get better. So figuring out whether it's break time, it's practice time, or tournament time, or really what you plan on doing this fall. I think it's good right now to figure out a plan for the next several months as we get into that time where you are in school and the days are shorter and it's just a little bit harder to budget your time, but you have big goals, so it's time to figure out how you're going to do that. So I wrote a few things here. I'll share them with you. Please comment and get back to me on any questions you might have. But for right now, so where are you at? And here's some perspective. I think your fall schedule should be determined based on where you're at with your current golf game and where your current goals are and what you're trying to get to. I think too many people are really freaking out about the college golf process or qualifying for this or that tour. You know, the biggest thing is to keep getting better at golf each and every day. If you're doing the right things, you should be getting better. You should be getting mentally tougher, mentally stronger. And it's really not about whether or not you qualified for this or that tour yet. But none of that's going to matter as you keep going. So if you just keep getting better, you're going to surprise yourself on what happens. So a couple thoughts on that too. The beauty of golf is really just don't know how good you're going to be. I see kids all the time who they have goals, some don't have goals, some don't realize their potential, some want it so bad that they can't even function. So some of the things you have to do there is you want to try as hard as you can while you're practicing, but in competition you just got to go out and let the magic happen. There's too many mistakes that happen when you're putting that much pressure on yourself, and there's a reason why even the pros who are trying to win, you know, like Rory McIlroy trying to win the career Grand Slam at the Masters. There's a reason why he hasn't done that yet, and that's putting a lot of extra pressure on himself. And I sincerely hope that he achieves that goal. So going back to, there's a couple different categories here I want to talk about. So a player who just had a fantastic summer of tournaments. Maybe for you this time, it's this time to evaluate, you know, what things really went well this summer and what you want to do going forward with that. So it's important to sit down and take some time to really see why you played well this summer. What were you doing leading up to summer that allowed you to play well? Did you plan better? What things did you do to shoot the scores that you did? How did it happen? And just try to recreate that kind of environment and see what it is you need to do to go forward. Also, if you're shooting really well right now, I'm a big proponent on going out and playing more golf right now. It's silly to not be playing tournaments when your game is peaking and you're playing really well and shooting under par and going low. You should be out there playing as much as possible. So now might not be the time to take a break. Now might be a time to see what events are out there and that you should play in. So another category I'd like to talk about is players who just had a terrible summer of tournaments. So maybe it's time to reevaluate the systems that you're doing for your practice, your lessons, your tournaments. Maybe the whole system's just not working. Talk to your coach, figure out maybe a better system that makes more sense. Maybe you do have too much pressure on yourself. Maybe you need to talk to your parents about how things are going, but a new plan is probably important, and figure out how you can do better for next summer or even for the fall or spring events, what you have coming up. So set some goals for the fall and then work really hard at them, and then maybe set a tournament schedule when you're feeling better about where your game is at. So then there's also the players who just need tournament experience. So there's a lot of players, especially young players, who are still learning the game, learning the competitive environment. You may want to play a ton of events right now just to keep getting that experience. If you do play other sports, the fall is a great time to play other sports because the main golf season is really spring and summer. But for those that really need that experience, now is a great time to keep playing and work hard on your game and figure out how to score lower and build some confidence. So that might be a good thing for you. Players who feel they are behind about getting recruited to play college golf. This is a big topic of conversation with a lot of students all the time. And if you haven't been recruited, now in the fall is a good time to compete. Make sure your game is in good shape. Don't just play tournaments, especially when you're not playing well. You need to get to a system that's better. Your practice rounds should be good. Your tournament scores are always going to be a little bit higher than your practice rounds. So if you're not playing well in your practice rounds, I don't know how you're going to probably play that great in your tournaments. So maybe come up with a better system, start playing better in practice rounds, and then take that into the tournament scene. So, but your coach should be able to help you with that. Also, if you're trying to get recruited to college, you should compete on courses you know already. So if you've been trying to play and traveling around and playing a bunch of courses that are new to you and you're not succeeding, maybe look for some local tournaments that are closer to home and courses that you know and that you feel like you can have more success on and get some victories or some success and feel like you're playing better based on playing courses that you know much better. So that's a couple thoughts there. If you're a player who is already committed to play college golf, so you've already committed maybe earlier this summer and you have a year and a half or a year until you go off to college. A couple thoughts there. Number one, yeah, you've done it. You've succeeded. You've gotten that scholarship or you've gotten that opportunity to play college golf. Congratulations. That's fantastic. Now is when the time, is really to get ready for that. So, finish up your high school golf or your high school school career, finish keeping your grades up, but also keep your game sharp. I see a lot of kids not play tournaments anymore once they've kind of done that. And when their game slips a little bit, they lose that competitive edge and they start doing other things that are kind of different from that competitive golf mindset. So look at that. And then if you're a player who's struggling with your golf swing, I think the fall is a great time to work with your coach and just try to get things better and more organized and more efficient for maybe next year, maybe for the spring, for high school golf in this fall, or for spring golf if you're on the boys teams, and just get things organized so that next season's much better for you. So fall is a great time to do that. You don't have to compete year round with golf. So a couple other tips for fall planning, things that I do or tell my students. There's school. There's also less daylight in the fall months, so I recommend when it's light out, you're on the golf course, and when it's dark, you're doing your homework or your physical fitness or your mental game development. If you have a lighted range like we do at Stadium Golf Center, then that's a good place to practice at night. If you have extra time or you can't get things done during the day, we're open until 10. Also, during the fall, make sure you schedule your golf ahead of time. It's very easy to say, okay, well, I'll practice when I have time, but then you don't make time because things build up and you get busy. So try to get that going. Also, I think for the competitive golf calendar, to understand that better, again, you don't have to play well year round. It's nice to peak at key times of the year. And there's a couple things that we've done at Future Champions Golf that I hope you've seen, or you at least maybe understand why it is that we do what we do. So one thing is that definitely feel like peaking once during the winter break is a perfect time. One, you've been through the fall for several months. You could be working on your game. Then you have about a week and a half once school break ends to put in more time with your practice and get really sharp for our national championship, which is a big event every year, 550 player plus event. Great time to play in front of college coaches or just to shine on the national stage. There's so many kids and it's a big competitive event and really a lot of fun. So that's a good time to peak. And then also in the summer. So if you can peak during June through August, you shouldn't be in the middle of the swing change during those months. You should be already organized and ready to go. And when June hits, it's go time and you're dialed in, you know what you're working on for the summer and ready to play. So those are some peak season stuff. So also love to peak during the high school season and play well during that time because I think high school golf is really fun. It's good to be on a team. College coaches like that you play on the team and get used to that environment. So that's a good thing. One note there too, high school golf, you're playing a lot and you're struggling, definitely need to use the weekends to try to get better at your golf because when you do play and you're struggling, playing a lot of matches is very difficult and can be not good for your game. So I hope this helps. If you have any questions, please shoot me an email. It's chrissmeal@gmail.com. And thanks for following us at Future Champions Golf and watching our YouTube channel. Thanks.